Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Somebody's trying to create something like this, but they're getting lost on a couple of steps, so I thought I'd just make it from scratch. Pretty easy to make. Let's zoom in here a little bit. You know what? I'm going to make it off the page because I'm going to make it, well, I need it to be in the center of the page. So I'm going to hit P and put center of the page. I'm going to Control D, holding down the Shift key and bring that in. Now I'm going to take a rectangle and hit P. And now I'm going to Control D and rotate that rectangle 90 degrees. So we kind of have that look. Now we could do a lot, but I think, let's try this first. Nope, that didn't work. You're almost going to have to group it together. Almost the easiest thing to do when you kind of get, because we've got three different parts, is just take the virtual segment delete key and delete these other lines. And then delete this and delete that. Go in and delete that and delete that and one more line. Now we're going to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. Now what we need to do, I'm going to move that out of the way, is I'm going to left click, right click, and I'm going to go to Object and break the curve apart, and that gives me these sections are different. I'm going to go to Windows, Dockers, and Corners, and I'm going to make them 1 inch, like put a little corner on them. Whoop. Make sure you grab the item. So we're just putting a little bit of corner on those corners. Now at this time, we need to group it together. And let's move it. Well, let me move this one out of the way. They're almost identical. So then take the perspective tool, because this is all one group, go up to Object and Perspective and add perspective. The only thing, it's kind of hard sometimes to get it even. So what I've been doing lately with it is, let's put this in the center of the page. I should have made my page a lot bigger. And then let's take a rectangle and let's make the rectangle about that long. And let's hit P. That makes it equal on both sides. I can hold down the control button and you can put it anywhere in here. Now we're going to grab this, go up to Object, Perspective, and add perspective. And see, we can go right here to these corners. And then that way my perspective is the same on both. So we've got that done. And this is, I think this is where he's messing up. He's turning that gray, whoop, probably have to use a Smart Fill tool. Set on a lighter gray maybe. Fill that in. Take away the outline. Well, we can't because it's a Smart Fill. So we'll just move it out of the way. But I think this is where he's messing up. He's using the bevel tool, and then he's trying to make the shadow. And you can't make the shadow blurry when you made it a bevel tool. And so what we're going to do, we're going to make a duplicate of that right now. We're going to change our nudge factor to, well, I made it huge, 46 inches. Let's make it 5 inches. And let's Control D and make a duplicate and move that down twice. Now for just a second, I'm going to move it out of the way. I can always put it back. Now we're going to grab the bevel tool. Let's shut that down. Go up to Effects and Bevel. And we're going to bevel this item. And see, we put a little bit of bevel on it. Now, if we had beveled this one and then made a copy, we wouldn't be able to add this fake looking shadow. So I'm going to put it back where it was. I'm going to go to Object, Order, back a page. I'm actually going to move it down one more time. I'm actually going to make it a little bit darker, maybe even darker still. And then I'm going to go to Effects and Blur. This is, I think, where his problem was, because he beveled it and then made a copy, and it won't work. Now, the only way it would work if you would turn it into a bitmap. It's going to take just a little bit because made it so big. So we got a little bit of a blur there. We could also do one more thing. We can use the transparency tool and make it a little bit transparent. And once again, I'm working on a huge file, so it's taking a little bit of time. I should have reduced it aside. Okay, we're ready to, whoop. So it's got a little bit of a transparency look. Let's see how much blur there is. Yeah, see, it's blurry. And then what you want to do, you want to take, he's using like a red carpet effect, and we're going to make that all red. And we're going to go to Object, Order, Back a Page. And once again, it's taking extra time because it's so big. I mean, this thing is 109 inches big. I don't ever think about that when I start making the video. So there's your item. And then I would actually go up to Object and perspective that a little bit. And you could use the same type box, but you could bring that in and bring that in. And what it's doing is it's taking up so much of my computer memory that I should have made it a lot littler. And at any time you could have made it littler. Let's see what it looks like when it's finished. And then take off so it's not much of perspective, but it looks pretty decent. I think my first one was actually better. Maybe just because I moved it. Well, the shadow's about the same distance. So just two things I've hoped I've taught him. Make your copy before you bevel, because once you bevel something, you cannot. Well, let's just do that. Let's take a circle real small, fill it in with, well, that gray works. And then let's bevel it. Let's take away the outline. So now if we were to make a duplicate of that, come on. If we were making a copy of that, hit the plus key of the keyboard, and then make this a shadow. If we go to Effects and Blur, you can't blur it because it's a bevel. But you can go and convert it to a bitmap. Doesn't matter what color, it's still going to be that gray. And then you could go to Effects, Blur, and blur it. And then go OK, and then go Object, Order, Back a Page. So I think that's what he was doing wrong. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit. Thank you for watching.